In this video, I'm going to be showing you the way that I make the hood dump on my B Series turbo. I am running the ram horn turbo manifold with I think that's a 5-bolt flange on the outside right there. In this video, I'm going to be showing you what you need material-wise and also how to weld it. I've got a 45-degree elbow, 3 15-degree pie cuts. Also use a tape measure just in case, some grinders. I have a cutoff wheel as well as a sanding disc. So the way that I'm going to be tackling this is I'm going to have my 3 pie cuts right here. I'm going to weld it to the bottom, or not the bottom, the side of this flange, and then I'm going to attach the elbow right here where my thumb is, and that should allow the dump to pop out right around this area. So let me get this all tacked up and I'll show you what it's gonna look like. So the welder I'm gonna be using is this Daemien Amazon welder, which I have hooked up to 110 volts. We're using 100% argon gas. My torch setup is a size 12 gas lens, and the tungsten I'm gonna be using is, if I can find it, is blue. This should be 2% lanthanated, which should do the job. If I dip on accident, I'm going to be using the gray tungsten, which is seriated 2%. But yeah, let me get started. The wire that I'm going to be using is, pretty sure this is 045. This is going to be 308. I'm going to be welding stainless. I am going to switch over to a dual regulator setup once I'm welding the whole thing for a purge line. But right now, for just tacks, I'll just be running this single regulator. Right now, I have the machine set at 40 amps for tack. I'll probably up it to 60 amps once I start welding this thing. But just for right now, I have that set up. I'm also running 35 CFH. And let's get this thing tacked. So I got that all tacked. So when I tack stuff like this, I'll take the higher up edge and I'll pull it down. If not, you're going to run into something like this where it kind of blows it out a little bit. My mistake. Oh, my mistake. Something like this. Higher edge, bring it down. So let's go fit this up, see what it's like, see what adjustments we need to make. Okay, so I've got this all fitted up. Seems to fit pretty nice. I'm gonna go ahead and mark it where I need it to sit. And then I'll go ahead and tack these pie cuts to this plate before I go ahead and throw the 45 on. The reason why I'm doing that is just to make sure that everything fits the way it needs to. So let me get it marked up. And the way that I'm going to mark this, is I'm going to put that on the end of the pie cuts, see where that fits, and then I'm going to draw a straight line from one of these edges right here, to the plate itself, so I know where I'm going to tack and what this needs to be set to. Alright, well, I've got my marks, so I decided to notch multiple ones so that they all line up so it doesn't move at all on me, and I know which way to, I guess, tack this. For tacking this plate to these pie cuts, I think I'm going to increase the amps just a little bit so I can get this thicker stainless to melt more. Not a whole lot, just enough to get it tacked together. When tacking this bigger plate to this little guy, you might need some filler material, so just have it on standby just in case. You might get lucky and not need any, but I'm just gonna hold some just in case I need to dab. I brought my amperage up to 50. See if that will kind of help. Okay, one tack. I'm also bringing the top material up to down, allows the puddle to kind of drip over, and it makes the tacking a lot easier. Now something like this, what I would do is I would almost move up and down a little bit just to get those kind of puddles forming. I'd start on the bottom since it's a thicker material, move up. You're gonna need filler wire for this. I'm just gonna keep upping the amperages until I can get this to form a puddle. Sitting at 85 amps right now. You want to keep, since we're at such a high amperage and this is a thinner material, try to keep your heat on the plate itself so you don't burn through. Okay, now that we got this all tacked up, I went ahead and I hooked up, my double regulator for my purge hose. The way that I'm going to be purging this is just some tin foil, which I got right here. And I'll probably tape the piece of tin foil to the back right here. Hopefully the tape doesn't melt, or I can just set it on it. It's not that big of a deal. That's why I have this table with some holes in it. I think I'll be running maybe 12 CFH through my purge line. Get it all filled up, and then I'll go ahead and start welding this thing. Always vent your purge setup. You don't want your weld to blow out. Let me get this thing all crumpled up. Shove it in here. Nice little purge setup. No, I'm not spending $300 on no big fancy purge setup, so go ahead and cover it for now. You don't want this to be super thick because you still gotta cover everything. I'm gonna tape this on there. Probably melt, but it won't be in the way as much, so oh well. This is like a woven electrical tape. My hands are really cold right now, but just as long as it stays on there, it'll be good. Okay, we got this all set up. If anybody wants to sponsor me that's got a purge valve thing, I don't even know what it's called, but please, it'd be so nice so I don't have to use tinfoil anymore. But this is a nice little setup. Go ahead and get this filled with argon. I'm using 12 CFH. Probably be running 35 through my torch. But probably gonna start from the top one and work my way down. Or I guess the opposite, sorry. The bottom from the top. So let's go ahead and let it fill up. Get some of the moisture out of the metal with the torch. Getting the moisture out will make it weld a lot nicer and cleaner. So I'm gonna start up on this tack and work around here. Probably gonna sit at 60 amps for now. Maybe I need to raise it. There you go. You want to get that brown, not that brown, but like that gold color look. And well, got this all welded up for the bottom. Not really pretty right here, but all around it shouldn't leak at all. So I'm gonna go ahead and set up the purge line and get all these other ones welded up. All right, I got the purge set up. I think I'm gonna go down to 65 amps. I was welding this bottom piece at around 80, which was doing pretty good, but I don't wanna get this too hot since it's pretty thin. So I think I might drop it down to 70, maybe 65. I said 65, but let's see how 70 does. I'll let this sit for just a little bit. I'm running 20 CFH now. Hopefully we can speed it up. Alright, I got it all welded up. The bottom isn't looking too good. I might just go over with the torch again to make it pretty. But other than that, inside, the purge did a pretty decent job. You can see. But yeah, it's not pretty, but it'll work. I'm going to go ahead and test fit it, remark the 45 so I can weld it. I do recommend welding these elbows first because it was a pain to weld all of them together while on this plate. So next time I'm gonna have to weld the elbows first. I don't know why I didn't do that, but just to save you guys some time, weld the elbows first, or the pie cuts, my bad, not the elbows, sorry. All right, well, I got it all marked up. I actually flipped it around so that the flared side is over the pie cut. Actually made it fit a lot better, but yeah. I'm gonna tack this and refit it just in case. Let me do that. Alright, so I ran into some clearance issues with tacking it outside the car, so I'm just gonna tack it inside the car. I'll probably make it easier. I got it all tacked up. This little gap shouldn't be a big issue. I think I want to say this is either 1/8 or 1/16. I'm not sure, but it's a pretty big filler rod, which should be able to fill this gap pretty easily. I'm gonna go ahead and purge it while I'm doing this gap, but I'll get back when it's done. All right, got her all welded. It ain't pretty, but it's gonna work. Oops. Look at the inside. You can see we got somewhat good penetration. Not the best, but like I said, it'll work. But yeah, let's get it on the car and see how it looks. All right, got it all mocked up. This is what it looks like.